afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Google Cloud Next 24 DEI Keynote, Innovation with Intention. I'm Melonie Parker, Google's Chief Diversity Officer, and I am so excited to be here with you today with two amazing people that I'm going to introduce you to, Eve Anderson and Dmitry Konevsky. Eve is a Senior Director of Products for All at Google. She's leading work on internationalization, accessibility, as well as product inclusion and equity. And Dmitry is a research scientist at Google whose work focuses on enhancing speech, language, as well as audio processing, especially in accessibility contexts. And so let's welcome Eve and Dmitry to the stage. So today's discussion is going to be very inspiring. We're going to talk about the importance of innovating with intention and how inclusive product innovation has not only brought incredible new products and solutions to consumers, but we're also going to talk about how this has bettered society by including more people, many of which may have been traditionally overlooked. But before we really dive into the heart of this conversation, I'd like to start by understanding how people identify. So I identify as a Black woman. I use the pronouns she, her, and hers. I'm a mother, I'm a knitter, I'm a new Gigi to my granddaughter Noelle, and I'd love if each of you would also share how you identify. Sure.
Hi, I'm Eve. I identify as a white woman. I also use she, her, hers. And I'm a mother too, just like you, and I love to travel, and here's a strange one, I love the number pi.
Dmitry?
I identify myself as mathematician and inventor. You can see my speech is transcribed. I have strong accent. It is specifically trained for my voice. It's Google speech recognition. It makes sometimes errors, but I hope you understand this. I completely lost hearing in very early childhood, but I do not identify myself with hearing loss. But this motivated me to become inventor and invent things that could help to communicate.
So,
thank you.
Really excited to highlight the Project Relate and the live Transcribe technology. You know, I'd like for you both to share a bit about your professional roles, what you do on a day-to-day basis, and as you talk about that, how does innovation and inclusive design factor into that? Eve?
Well, I started working in the accessibility space at Google in 2013, so over 10 years ago, almost 11 now, and that has grown from a grassroots effort to now a company-wide initiative. In fact, I lead an org now called Products for All, and we have 3 areas of focus: internationalization, product inclusion and equity, as well as accessibility. And what my team does, in addition to developing innovative products directly used by end users, we develop infrastructure and resources for product teams across all of Google, every single product team, to make our products work well for our global users. And what our team creates is used in every stage of product development, from conception to design to build, test, release, and so on. And you asked about day-to-day. Well, our team is highly cross-functional. We have engineers who, for example, they built the large-scale infrastructure that's used to translate every single Google product. We have user experience researchers who do research with historically underserved communities to deeply understand user needs. And we have subject matter experts who work with teams across the whole company to help them, to give advice and help them through the process.
Dimitri?
My background is mathematics. I received PhD at Moscow State University. I could interpret well in Russian, but then I went westward. I worked at various prestigious mathematical institutions, at Max Planck Institute in Bonn, in the Princeton, at the Institute for Advanced Study. But at that time, there were no widely available transcription services. And I decided I need to move from academia to technology and develop speech recognition to help people who do not hear to communicate. But it took many years to develop good speech recognition for communication. It finally happened when I started to work at Google at speech recognition team in New York. It started in 2014. First, we improved closed caption for YouTube videos. Then I moved to Mountain View, to sound understanding team, and we developed speech recognition as Android application, like Transcribe, that help to communicate everybody. And now I am working in Shockwave. We are working to process audio for various applications, and we communicate across Google with various teams to help the accessibility products.
So thank you, Dimitri. We're all better off because of the work that you do, and you make our, not just Google, but the world a better place. Eve, your team specifically focuses on ensuring that our products are built with inclusion in mind across all dimensions of identity, including disability, race, geography, et cetera. And as mentioned before, it was 2013 that you started engaging in this area of work. And then it was like a small part of a grassroots team that focused on accessibility. Today, this has grown into a company-wide effort that includes product inclusion and equity and internationalization, as well as accessibility. And so how have you seen, since 2013, have you seen that path and process of innovation change in a way that's more inclusive from the start?
I've seen so much change over the past 10 years, not just at Google, but in the industry as a whole. I mean, look how many people are here right now. This is awesome. And we're definitely finding a lot of demand in the industry for the things that we're building. And we find that teams across Google and elsewhere really are seeing the value of developing more inclusively from the beginning. And so at Google, my team has been able to systematize how we do these things, how we approach accessibility, internationalization, and product inclusion and equity, to make it easier for teams to integrate these into their entire software development process. And so whereas before, teams might have been focused on developing things that are broadly applicable, now they're really starting to consider this wide range of experience from the beginning when they're designing things. And this leads to better outcomes overall, because when you think about these experiences from the beginning, that's going to just push you to be creative, kind of like, you know, the constraints of poetry. Well, similarly, thinking about these constraints and ranges of experience is going to push people to be more innovative. And as I'm sure everybody knows, it's a lot easier to integrate that in from the beginning than to try to retrofit a product that has already been developed under certain assumptions. And this also, you brought up innovation. This is such a key part of it. The innovation comes as a result of this. It leads teams to innovate more than they ever had even thought, because they have to think about things in a new way, considering this wide range of experiences. And I'll just give you one example. On the Pixel phone, we launched something called Real Tone, which was designed to help the camera take better photos of people with all ranges of skin colors, especially the darker skin colors. And that was why we built it. We also found that it had add-on effects of making photos of everybody better. And so this is the kind of innovation that you do it for the right reasons. You do it because you care about these groups of users, but it also has this great, I guess, knock-on effect.
Thank you. Now, Dimitri, let's talk a little bit about live transcribe. So first off, can you tell the audience, just give a brief overview of what this is, and when you all first started to build live transcribe, was it initially intended to support the deaf and hard of hearing community, or was that simply a positive side effect that made such a big impact on so many lives?
I just showed to you live transcribe that I keep in my hand. It is Android application. It is available on Android devices. It can be downloaded from Google Play. It is available in more than 84 languages if it's connected to cloud. But there's also version on device that does not require internet and cellular connection. There it is available in a few languages. How we did this? My co-worker, it was in 2017, in Mountain View, made first prototype. She wanted me to help to communicate more efficiently. I started to use this. At the beginning, it had so many issues. My co-worker asked me, how can you use this? I told him, I was dreaming about this my whole life. And slowly we improved it. A few Googlers who did not hear started to use this. We demonstrated this at a major Google event that was attended by Google founders, by senior executives. And we created a dedicated team that moved this into production. Many million users worldwide use live transcribe. It was especially helpful during pandemics, when everybody wore masks and could not really breathe. It's such a wonderful thing that it helped me to communicate. Now I can understand other people using live transcribe, and people can understand me when I'm using this application. Thank you.
Thinking about things that both of you said just now regarding the process of innovation, it really makes me think about a saying amongst the disability community, which is nothing about us without us. And this is something that many teams at Google truly take to heart. And I'd love to dive into that a bit more with each of you. Dimitri, as a researcher, how do you think about and factor in nothing about us without us in your work, especially considering that we're still gathering more data, gathering more information as disabilities become better understood, recognized, and supported?
There are a few factors that I can think if I say nothing without us. First, if we develop some new application, some new tool, we should start from the beginning to communicate with people with disabilities, with users who will be using this, to incorporate features that will help. We need their feedback. But second factor is that people with disabilities should become part of our teams. They should work with us. They have so creative thinking. They overcame so many difficulties in their life. They could help to do better products. But let's also do not forget about people without disabilities. They're also part of our team. They're part of the key collaboration. So it takes understanding of experience for everybody. We understand each other, and this will lead to better products.
Yeah. Eve, we know that the disability community is incredibly diverse, and how people experience even the same disability or disabilities can differ greatly, especially when we're considering intersectionality with other identities like gender, race. Like, how have you seen the nothing about us without us approach work to address these sorts of complexities in product innovation as well as design?
It goes back exactly to what Dimitri was saying, that it's just so important to consider this wide range of experiences and identities from the beginning with and not just for the community. And so, as Dimitri said, we do that by partnering with community members, but also our employee base is really, really important. And I'll just give you one example from something that we built, and that's Magnifier that we launched on Pixel. And Magnifier is a product. It is designed for people with low vision to use the advanced camera features in Pixel to be able to better see things in the world around them. And so the team worked with the Royal National Institute for Blind People, which is an organization in the UK, as well as the National Federation of the Blind in the United States, as well as with employees with low vision, to both understand the pain points that users had, as well as the opportunities that we could create by developing this, using this advanced technology that we had. And we had really fantastic learnings from that. For example, one of the things that we learned was, well, we already knew that low vision isn't a state of being. There's like so many different degrees and different ways that low vision can take place. And so we learned about the customizations that were really important for people to be able to have. And so we built that as one of the main areas of focus as we were developing this product. And then the other learnings were really about simplicity, making it easy to use, easy to launch, so people could just have it ready as part of their daily toolkit.
So over the last several decades, we've seen how the development of technology like AI, machine learning, have really powered rapid innovation, which has enabled us to be helpful to even more people. Can you talk about how do these advancements now play a critical role in driving innovation, especially as the impact and influence of technology overall continues to grow exponentially?
Yeah, this area is so exciting because I've seen how much it has changed over the past decade, and how there were things we were just dreaming about back then, and now they're a reality. I mean, you've been seeing some of the transcription work here live, and of course this is highly AI powered. In fact, the Project Relate model is built using Dimitri's voice. And so that has been a huge evolution since the first captions in the 1970s to automatic captions in the 2000s of YouTube videos to automatic captions of everything on Android and Chrome and then now the customized models. That's a perfect example of it. And another great example is something an app that we launched for people who are blind called Lookout to help blind people understand the world around them. And one of the features we launched last year that we could not have launched before was about letting a user ask questions. So there's an image on the phone. The user can actually ask the phone questions, and it will answer based on what it interprets in the image. So those are a couple awesome examples.
Those are great examples. And I keep thinking about, Dimitri talking about people wearing a mask during the pandemic. And, one of the physical things I saw in the mask was that people would cut out like a part so it was clear for the lips. But like, if you think about that compared to live transcribe. And so, Dimitri, building on that, as technology becomes more integrated into our daily lives, what do you think is important for companies as well as their employees to think about in terms of digital accessibility and our responsibility to continue to innovate in this area?
When we start to develop new technological features, every new technological feature can provide new opportunities for people. But at the same time, you need to check, maybe it can increase digital divide. For example, if you develop something that requires expensive phones, then low-income people will not be able to use these. But if you do something that requires internet, it will not be available in some areas. So you need to bring people with disabilities who have creative thinking, who help to solve these problems. We'll give you one example. When we first developed Live Transcribe, it sent audio and compressed it to cloud. This means that when people use this over phone with a cellular connection, it has very high cellular data cost. So it was not available and not good for people with low income. So we specifically worked to compress audio in such a way that it did not affect speech recognition accuracy. So we started to send on cloud compressed audio, and now we significantly reduced the cost of cellular data, and it could become available for more people.
So to close this out, we're almost near the end of our time together, but I want to ask two final speed round questions. So the first one is, what are two product innovations you've seen that truly, they just blew your mind in terms of being built with true intention and how it impacted its users? And one of the two has to be a non-Google product. Who wants to start?
I'll start. Well, first I'm going to say Waymo, and that's an Alphabet product, but I'm going to count that as my Google product. Don't worry, I'm not trying to cheat. And I feel like, Waymo, they're all over San Francisco. That's where I live. I don't know if you've ever ridden in one. It is pretty amazing. But what I really love is that there are so many features for people with disabilities. For example, you can tell the app, please make the car honk so I can find it more easily.
I like that.
Yeah. The other product that I love, because I'm mom to a 7-year-old, is Lego, because this product is developing the next generation of STEM thinkers and engineers.
I love that. I remember stepping on Legos when my children were younger.
I still do.
Dimitri?
I'll be a little bit biased what I like is what we see now, related. Of course, it's called related. Sometimes it makes errors, but it's allowed me to communicate so much. I could go to give presentation for the first time at mathematical conference. But second thing that impressed me, it's actually GPT. Maybe because it pours so much attention to AI, and AI has so much opportunities to help people with disability. So I like this.
Okay, one final question. So I always like to leave the audience with something that they can take away with and also act on in their day-to-day lives, whether that's personally or professionally. So can you each give me one short takeaway for how people can think about innovation with intention and building products that better our society as a whole? Dimitri, you want to start?
I would like to tell others, you should listen to people with non-standard way to approach problems. The out-of-box thinking could help us to overcome rough times. It may block us to find better solutions.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was going to just say that I encourage people to be open-minded, learn from other people's experiences, including people who have out-of-the-box ways of thinking, because even after doing this type of work for a decade, I'm still learning new things all the time, and people have such a wide range of experiences, and these perspectives really push me to think in new ways, and they help me and my team innovate.
Thank you both for this great discussion today. It certainly makes me not only feel optimistic about the future of innovation and how intentionality will have a positive impact on the world and our society, but also how we can individually think about being more intentional and more inclusive. And I hope everyone else was as inspired by this as I was. So Eve and Dimitri, it was a pleasure having you here with us today. Thank you.
Thank you.